Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Under My Skin with Dr. T. That's me. Today is a really special day because today I have with me somebody who cannot stop mansplaining, who cannot stop interrupting me, who I work with day in and day out, who I live with day in and day out. Yes, it is my husband. Please give him a round of applause because he hasn't interrupted me in this one entire paragraph. Welcome, husband.
Thank you for having me.
So my husband here, Dr. Abhishek Oka, he is a physician turned entrepreneur. He is the business end of Derma MD. He is everything that Derma MD is and has grown to because of him. If it were left to me, I would just do 2 hours of OPD, go home, curl up and just go to sleep. So thank you, Abhishek, for making Derma MD what it is.
Thank you for having me. I'll admit I'm quite nervous. Usually I'm behind the scenes. You are the one who is in front of the camera. But it's nice to be on the other side.
How does it feel to finally face the camera?
Quite daunting if you ask me.
So Abhishek, we've done our MBBS together. Both of us were doing our MBBS at JJ Hospital, Grand Medical College in Mumbai. That's where we met. We started dating and eventually got married, and the rest is history. It's been 15 years that we've been dating, actually, just this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. So you've been through this whole journey of doing MBBS in a proper good old government college, seeing I don't know how many patients a day, then doing your post-graduation in internal medicine, which is quite a rigorous 3 years. You did all of that, you did private practice, and now you've decided to wrap it all up and head into the entrepreneurial side of things. How's that been for you?
I sometimes say this to my friends jokingly. I'm a reformed physician. So, yeah, it was a big challenge, I feel, moving away from clinical medicine into something which is vastly different from what I've actually trained to do. It's also a very big decision, I feel, because you don't see many doctors leaving behind their years of training, what they have learned, and going into something which is completely businessy or management related.
I agree. Honestly, a lot of engineers typically
Yeah.
switch. Nobody's doing
Yeah.
core engineering
Yeah.
and they're going into management roles.
Yeah.
But the moment a doctor does it, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Right.
and all the more I think because I did it after my post graduation.
Yeah.
So it's very common when I hear people saying, "पर फिर इतना क्यों पढ़ाई किया?" Well, ठीक है, कभी तो पता चला कि I had to move away from it.
But what prompted you to move?
I think it's when we started our clinics together, like when we were running our OPD together. Somehow I was the one who was running the back end things, making sure the staff was in place, everything was working in order.
I am essentially a passenger princess.
Yeah. And while doing that, I realized that I quite enjoyed. I enjoy making systems and thinking of scales. And I remember having this conversation with you one day, like if both of us continue our clinical practice, like we'll have a plateau which we'll reach and we won't be able to grow beyond that. So at that point of time, so as our staff grew, our complexity grew, that was the time I decided like, chalo, I think maybe I should give this a full shot attempt. I remember how difficult it was. Like I dragged it on for how long? Like continuing
2 years.
both. Yeah, my clinic as well as management
So while you
of
had
things.
already started
Yeah,
looking at the management and
yeah.
things, and honestly, dermatology as a branch, it's not just a regular clinic, right? Like there's a lot more to it. Though there aren't admissions, there's a lot
Yeah.
more to it. Even in terms of just the clinic management. Now we have 4 managers,
Yeah.
and there still is so much to be done. And now that we've started Derma MD Essentials, which is the product line, I think there's just so much to be done that I'm so glad you exist.
Yeah. I think it's also switching off as a professional, as a clinician, to a business owner. That transition also is not something you can just switch off, switch on. And somewhere I feel if someone is looking at the business end of things thoroughly, like giving their full attention, I think we make a good team. You're looking at patients
I do
and
think
I
so.
looking at...
I feel like I'm more logical, like in the moment, very like a typical clinician, whereas
Yeah.
you are always thinking 5 steps ahead, and I think that really works well as a team,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think the transition happened very subtly, very organically. It wasn't something that I had thought of when I was like say doing medicine or when we had just started practicing. It was just that when you are in the clinic day in and day out, you start looking at things in a very different way. You see the organization, how it is, you see the systems which are in place and how it can work better. But I also feel if you are seeing patients all the time, you really don't get time to look at the management end of things. And slowly I started realizing like I genuinely love systems and probably I like it more than writing prescriptions. And that is when the change finally happened, when I actually stopped my clinical practice entirely and I was full time looking at Derma MD.
Wonderful. My next question is very specific.
Okay.
You don't have to feel pressured with your wife sitting in front of
Okay.
you. How is it to work with your spouse? Day in
Interesting.
and day out.
Interesting. I would say it has got both its pros and cons. We'll start with pros. Your spouse is always around you. That's a pro.
Oh, that's a pro.
That's a pro. That's a pro.
Thank you. Okay.
And yeah, I guess, and when you have the same interest, the same, we can't call it a hobby, but like a passion project, like once you have it together, I think it doesn't feel like work anymore. We sometimes go back home, we are still discussing about something new, that a new strategy that we want to adopt, something new that needs to be put in place. So it gets exciting, but I think it's sometimes a con as well because we never stop talking work, right? At the end of the day, we are talking
I know.
about work
It is,
even at home.
I always call it another baby that we have.
Oh yeah.
And it's so funny that we're so excitedly talking about it in the middle of the night. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. Like we're so excited about
Let's
it all
start a
the
clinic
time.
here. Let's juice
That
this.
is true. But yeah, but what are the cons?
The cons. Having your spouse around the entire day. It's both a pro and a con.
Now it comes. Now
Yeah.
it comes.
So once the workday is done, you probably just don't want to speak to your spouse again because you've been speaking to her the entire day.
So this happens to me a lot that honestly
Oh,
I
yeah.
come back from work and I have spoken to at least like 30 patients every day and I'm done talking. Okay, my social battery is exhausted. I am done talking. And this man here has been at the back end of things, working on his laptop, talking to our team. The limited social exposure. So he really wants to talk. Okay, he
Oh,
really
yeah.
wants to keep talking, and he's like, "Oh, let's go out now. Let's meet our friends. Let's call people over." And I'm like, "I don't want to. I really
But
don't."
that's one thing of clinical practice I think I truly miss. It's fun talking to patients.
Well, it is. It definitely is. But at the end of 30 patients, you really
Yeah,
don't want to talk
true.
anymore. So the next thing I'd like to come to is basically how we came up with Derma MD Essentials. So for me, honestly, more than wanting to formulate a product line, for me it was very evident gaps that I could sense. Like while I was treating patients, I could see actives used for acne that would dry the skin out but not help the barrier. I could see that those products would not help with post acne pigmentation. You needed to use two different things, both of which was stripping the barrier. So I knew exactly what the gap was. And to be very honest, when you asked me to formulate, my entire deal was, okay, I want this product in my practice so I can prescribe it to my
Yeah.
patients. That was literally where my point of formulation was coming from. What about you? How did this journey start for you?
I think once I started looking after Derma MD, the organization, the hiring, the expansion, Essentials was naturally the next course of action. It was also because I remember every time you used to come home after clinic, you would be like, this product has this missing, this product has this missing. I wish there was a product which has, all the things which you wanted. And we're like, yeah, like, and then that thing led to a point where we're like, why not formulate our own product? Why not start our own thing so that we can start giving it to our own patients? Yeah, that's when we thought. So real world problems required real world solutions. And I think that's how Spot Corrector Dio came into being. It was never like, let's start a skincare brand. It was always like, why doesn't something like this already exist?
Makes sense. The next question that I'd like to talk about here is Indian skin. Like when we were formulating,
Yeah.
We realized that Indian skin is different. Our problems are different. The humidity here is crazy. The kind of sun exposure does different things to our skin than it does to, Caucasian skin. So, how has that been in terms of our formulation journey?
I think it was a very important part of our formulation journey where we were kind of clear from the beginning. We are developing our range of products, especially for Indian skin types and the problems associated with Indian skin types. Because largely, I feel many brands just copy Western standards when it comes to skincare. But we have to understand how Indian skin is different. darker skin tones, more tendency to pigment, and for all those things we need dedicated medicines, or rather products, which would help those conditions. I think it was the backbone of our line of thinking.
Okay, so the next question.
Mhm.
We just launched with our spot corrector duo, which is the Azelaic and tranexamic acid serum. Why did we launch with that? Was that our first product?
Honestly, that wasn't our first product. HA serum, hyaluronic acid serum was our first product. I think that was the first thing that we tried out with. It was available in our physical clinic and store for quite some time now. And very funnily, we launched the spot corrector duo, and no one was looking at the inventory of HA serum, and now it's out of stock.
I know, hopefully it should be back soon, but then
Yeah.
people are loving
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, our patients used to always like it. That was the first product we honestly formulated because we didn't have as many pharma grade products to work on the barrier,
Yeah.
which is why we first initially came up with HA, not from a point of view of trying to sell, just from a point of view of trying to work on people with damaged skin barriers. So it was only in our clinic for how much? About maybe a year.
Yeah. I think also that product helped us validate our process
Correct.
of like even formulation, making sure something is suitable for all the patients we are creating it for.
Also, just like the licensing, the regulations,
yeah.
so much to
Yeah,
it that we
yeah.
learnt. Like every day has
I
been
feel-
like an MBA.
Yeah, I feel after leaving my clinical practice behind, I have done on the job everything together. It feels like licensing, GST, regulations, like
Half
it's a whole
CA,
world.
half lawyer,
Half everything.
half I don't know what.
I think as a business owner, you have to be a little bit of everything.
Correct.
And yeah, so spot corrector duo. I remember why we did it as well. I think there were a lot of products which were targeting acne, a lot of products targeting pigmentation, but now, like you used to keep saying, it doesn't happen that a person with acne doesn't have pigmentation. Most of them in the end do end up having pigmentation, and we needed something that would tackle both the conditions, acne as well as pigmentation, post-acne pigmentation.
Particularly something that doesn't
Yeah.
damage your barrier, because
And-
that was the biggest issue I had.
Yeah, and again, more pertinent to Indian skin where we tend to pigment after acne as well.
So honestly, I've been prescribing azelaic acid. It's one of my favorite go-to ingredients when I'm treating acne for a very long time. But most of the preparations available were extremely strong. They would really cause a lot of burning. Most patients couldn't tolerate the azelaic acid in higher strengths. So, I wanted to prescribe it to a lot of people, but I couldn't. Then, of course, there's tranexamic acid, which is a wonderful ingredient to depigment, but it was always available in combination with like a kojic acid or an arbutin. I wasn't finding this like perfect dream combo that I wanted for the longest time, so I'm so happy that it worked out finally after all the iterations that we went through. So glad it
I
went
think
through.
20 iterations. Originally we were supposed to launch in October, I guess, and it got delayed because like we had to go through different rounds of trials. Some formulations simply didn't work out, and she wanted it to be absolutely perfect.
See, it's a little bit of a thing that, when I'm formulating
Yeah.
it, I am on social media. My name is attached to the formulation in a way,
Yeah.
though it's like your brand and all that,
Yeah.
but it puts a lot of pressure on me that, I hope this works out. If someone uses it and like it stings them, I wouldn't feel too good about that. So I really wanted to work out and be perfect. So yeah, I have that pressure on me.
Yeah, I agree. The launch did get delayed, and delays do cost a lot of money. It costs momentum, but ultimately, I feel we did the right thing, making sure we got the right product,
Thank
which
you.
we were happy with.
Thank you. So much
Yeah,
validation.
Yeah. So we are very happy with the product, and I think it's saved us a lot of misery in the end.
Yes, it really did. In today's day and age where I see so many like influencers just trying to jump at dermats and trying to point out everything wrong that a dermat says or any doctor says, and nobody is questioning influencers themselves when, all of the things that they are saying. It's a little scary to put yourself out there and to,
Yeah.
launch a product like this, which is why I really feel all the more the delay was definitely worth it. It's okay if it cost us a little
But
money.
in a way, I feel they're doing their job right, because that's also keeping you on your toes and making sure the
I
product
know.
we are developing
I know.
is the best.
I know. The next question is an obvious one. Where do you see the brand heading? What's the future? What's the market like? What's the skincare industry like?
So I feel in terms of the brand, we are a young brand. We have a lot to grow, and I believe the brand was born out of the need कि we need some product which you would enjoy prescribing to the patients, because like it sort of satisfies all the criteria that you have in your mind regarding the efficacy or the texture or feel. And I think that's the first step that we have taken. We have introduced these products. This is the first time we are doing something like this. Going ahead, I would be looking forward to the feedback that we get, not in terms of just the formulation or the product, but also in terms of other things like packaging, or say if we are shipping the product to our customers, was there any issue in the shipping? Because this is a learning step for us as well. Whatever feedback we get from our customers, our patients, that is what is going to make sure our future iterations, the batches, would either be the same or will always try to make sure we stay up to date. We try to put in new things which studies show is better according to time. And also in terms of packaging, if we can reduce shipping time, make overall customer experience a little better. As you know, the skincare segment is completely cluttered right now. There are big brands out there, but I think we are trying to establish a niche for ourselves where we are trying to say that it's a dermatologist formulated, a brand which is specifically made for Indian skin type and is clinically very sound. So even if it might not look as the most shiny or the most fancy packaging wala brand, I'm sure the formulation that is there in it is the best out there.
Correct. I think what we stand for is purely clinically backed
Yeah.
products. Again, as you said, it need not have the fanciest, shiniest packaging out there. I feel the skincare market today is all about marketing. It's
Yeah.
a burn market.
Yeah.
Everyone's just burning money, they're paying influencers to just talk
True.
about their brands. It may or may not be true, it may or may not be effective, but it's just coming from a place of who is the loudest out there, who's
Yeah.
shouting the loudest out there. And I don't think, I don't know where we're headed, but I don't think we're going to get into that shouting game.
Yeah.
I believe that you do something well, you do it quietly, the quality itself is loud enough to speak about your product more
Yeah.
than all of this.
I think we are just here to stay for the long term. We're not here to do a lot of marketing or a lot of shosha, make sure like everyone is buying it today. We want to make sure the brand stays there for a really long time. We have loyal customers who enjoy the brand, enjoy the formulations that we are making, and we hope that we make a change in someone's life in their daily skincare routine.
So as of now, we've of course got the hair serum, which
Yeah.
I just love. I wanted to introduce the hair serum first because I love the hair serum. It is so good, very effective. The texture is so amazing. I personally have a very oily scalp, so I can't use most hair serums because I end up having to wash my hair every day. And I can proudly say that this is the only one that I don't have to wash my scalp every single day. So I'm really happy with the hair serum.
Yeah.
The HA is amazing. The face wash, of course, is for like an oily to combination to normal skin type. We still haven't made one for drier skin types.
Yeah.
We'll get there. There's a very light moisturizing cream which would be great in the summers. The sunscreen is coming, and of course the HA serum. Now that we're out of stock, we weren't prepared for this,
Yeah.
for all of this love.
Yeah.
But now that we're out of stock, it'll be back soon with newer packaging, which a very close friend of ours is going to do for us because she said our original packaging sucked so much that she
Yeah.
had to do it for us. So Siddhi Surte, who is like the most amazing designer, is going to be redesigning our HA serum. That'll be out soon. So yeah, a lot of exciting things happening, a lot of exciting things coming. Now, brand aside, I want to ask you a quick rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing people underestimate while building a skincare brand.
The time and effort it takes.
The time. What is one skincare market trend that you're completely sick of?
The quick fix type. Those gimmicky ads saying put this on and you'll get rid of all the marks in a day or two. That's
nonsense. Like, if anything is telling you it's going to work in less than a month, that's bullshit. One word to describe Derma MD Essentials.
It's essential in your skincare journey.
Correct. Nice. Okay, what's the biggest disagreement we've had while formulating Derma MD Essentials?
I can't think of just one. I think we have had a disagreement about everything, right from product
That's the
packaging
biggest,
to
yeah.
when should we launch, how should it be done.
I think scrapping that batch, the fragrance wala batch, must have been the biggest.
Yeah,
When I
possibly.
insisted on
possibly.
scrapping a
Yeah,
batch
yeah.
because of fragrance. Okay, who's the quicker decision maker?
You.
Okay, thanks. Uh, who's a perfectionist?
Me.
That's me. You're the quicker decision maker. Who's a risk taker?
You.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let me ask you some questions. So tell me your experience of working with your spouse.
Oh God, it's horrible. Like it's really quite horrible. Sorry, I'm not going to be as politically
you don't have to
correct
say
as
the
you.
truth over here.
So like, okay, it's great because like, yeah, you're hanging out all the time. We have our changu mungu moments where we're always together and all of that. But yeah, it's a lot because you're fighting about everything. Both of you have equally strong opinions about everything, so it's very important to like define
Yeah.
boundaries. But it's been great in the sense that, you know, as a working woman, this is something I feel very strongly about, that when you have a child, that eternal mom guilt that you live with is crazy. And having you working with me has been so convenient, I'd say, because one of us always makes sure that one of us is there with him and we're able to take care of our child better. If I was doing this alone, I don't think I could have, done as much justice to our child as I have been able to with you by my side. So I think that's a pro.
So next question. Tell me one ingredient that you love and one ingredient that you absolutely hate.
Love, I think, would be hyaluronic acid, honestly.
Yeah, I thought
Or
it would be a
Azelaic.
sunscreen. Like you're putting sunscreen all the time.
I mean, it's a little hard to choose one. I mean, sunscreen is a given, but I think hyaluronic really works for me because I always have a damaged skin barrier. So, if I have to just choose one, it'll be hyaluronic. If it's one ingredient that I hate, I think it would be vitamin C because it just doesn't work for me. I'm super acne prone. It always breaks me out, and I've seen it break a lot of other people out. And it's marketed so much that like everyone's using it, and then they come with crazy acne breakouts. So yeah, I think I'd hate vitamin C.
So is vitamin C ever going to be formulated as a Derma MD Essentials range?
Maybe, but I would have to specify who it's for. Like, you acne prone people, please don't use a vitamin C, even if I formulated it.
Okay.
Okay, before you ask me more questions, I forgot to ask you a very important question. In public,
Yeah.
what's your skincare routine like?
So
Now that you're formulating skincare and all that.
So cleanser, then sunscreen, moisturizer, twice a day.
Really? Really?
So now that you've formulated this product range and the products are out there, what keeps you up at night? Like what excitement or fear keeps
So
you
I
up?
think it's started very soon. Like, I mean, we've just launched, and just when we launched, like the day of the launch, I remember like staying up at night, and the first day, so many orders started coming in, and we were so excited. And I saw a bunch of my friends, a bunch of dermats who ordered it from us, who I probably would have given them those products anyway to try it, but they ordered it, and I was so worried that what are they going to think, you know? What are the dermats going to think? What if it reacts? What if someone doesn't like it? What if they don't like the way I've formulated it? So yeah, that's been the major issue for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's I think what's been keeping me up at night. What about you?
I think our kid.
Okay. That's going to
Yeah.
go on for a while. On that note, I think we're going to call it a wrap. I think this was really fun. Thank you for joining me on my podcast today.
I had a great
And
time.
Yes, so did I. It's a very different experience having your husband on
Yeah.
your podcast. It's been a pretty crazy ride these last few weeks since we have launched Derma MD Essentials. Do give us your love. If you have any questions about the products, about our process, about our journey, please ask me in the comments and we'll be very happy to answer. Until next time, see you on the next episode of Under Your Skin. Do like, share, subscribe and all of that. Bye-bye.